Okay, guys, it's your boy Dark Raku here with what if Issei was the son of Garou and was a telekinesis user? I forgot to put user, but whatever. So pretty much, Issei's father is going to be Garou. Besides, Garou's well, not Garou. Mostly Issei's father in original canon is named Goro, and I usually want to just call him Garou because it's similar, the same. So I said fuck it. So basically, Goro is going to be Garou in this one, but yeah. Now, of course, his mother Mika is actually going to have telekinesis. So yes, Issei is going to be basically the son of, mostly the hero hunter slash, what's it called? The fucking, what's it called? The king of fear and yeah, despair and other things. But yeah, don't worry about that. And yes, before you go on, is Garou Garou, okay. Basically, Garou, whatever you like to call him, he's going to be the exact same like in original canon. But the problem is, when he was much more younger, he did cause a lot of destruction, being what's it called, like the whole hunting heroes, besides heroes in this world, are going to be a thing, just not that much. Of course, there is what's it called, like monsters and other dangerous criminals like that. So yeah, there'll be like that. It's basically, what's it called, One Punch Man and DXC together, okay? Just basically like a crossover, but whatever. But not the point. Yes, Garou slash Goro did kind of cause a lot of destruction when he was way younger. He's right now like in his 30s, but don't worry about that. Or 30s, 20s, whatever you like to call it. I forgot how old was it called Issei's father would be, but it'd be like 30s or something. But of course, he caused a lot of destruction when he was way younger, and of course, mostly like fighting as the heroes, beating the shit out of the heroes, sending them to the hospital, killing monsters, going to become become half monster, having reddish hair and one bloodshot red eye, then becoming actually crimson red hair, and of course his both eyes were crimson red, and then just going on from different forms like that, going into his full monster form, mostly the king of monsters, which I just like to call it that. Fuck it, his final form. And then he just meets God and become Cosmo Garou. So yeah. So of course after that and then becoming back to normal, don't worry about that. Yes, Issei is going to have a much more faster what's it called? An adaptation ability. Much faster than his father's, thanks to the fact that his father did have that, what's it called, mostly that form of Cosmo for a little bit. And yes, he does have what's it called, the adaptation and becoming much faster and stronger over time in any situation, just like his father when he was in cosmic form. He will have that same exact speed, way faster. That's just basically he's the son of Garou. But of course, Garou did change his name to Goro, so don't worry about that. So of course, also Issei is going to kind of be, what's it called? His mother is a telekinesis user. She's actually, what's it called, mostly youngish, somewhat. Well, she's mostly like a half sister towards Tsusamaki and also Fubiki. But yeah, or not a sister. No, she is what's it called, mostly not related to none of those. She's just a telekinesis by herself. There's other telekinesis users in One Punch Man that aren't related to what's it called Tornado or what's it called Blizzard. So yeah, mostly I'm using their English names, but don't worry about that. But of course, yeah. So she's just separate from both of them, but yeah, she isn't that much of a weak telekinesis user. She's actually pretty strong. She just never decides to join the hero organization or any of that because she didn't really care. She didn't even use her kind of telekinesis for petty crimes or any of that. She mostly just protected her family. And of course, since she got married with what's it called Garou, who is named Goro, of course she knows his true identity named Garou, mostly the hero hunter that used to be hero hunter, but then turned a new lead and didn't really become a hero when he was trained by Bong, or not Bong, mostly what's it called, Old Man. But yeah, mostly the old man who can use water fist, crushing fist. I forgot his name, god damn it. Or is it Bong? No, I don't remember. But of course, yeah. Mostly, or White Fang. No, not White Fang. What am I talking about? Fuck, wait. Mostly Bang, but yeah. Bang and his older brother. But yeah. Of course, Bang mostly trained Goro or Garou to become a better person, but yeah. Of course, yes, Issei is going to know about mostly his grandfather figure named Bang and also his older brother, mostly Bang's older brother, but yeah. So of course, not the point. Let me just begin to this what if, but yeah. We go into mostly a kind of 6-year-old is Issei, or not 6-year-old either. No, we don't go into that. No. I fucked up. Damn, I fucked up. Never mind. But we go into mostly a school with a girl with kind of reddish crimson hair. Her eyes are kind of mixed with a bluish greenish color. This is where, well, she's doing, mostly work on her, she's mostly writing on a paper and, of course, looking at a board. And, of course, this is where, well, she is, done writing some notes and other stuff. This is where, she is bored a little bit, but she does turn around to see another student being there. A boy with kind of brownish hair. His eyes are kind of goldenish yellow a little bit. They're almost color of like gold, which she is always interested in, but of course, where, he mostly tries to hide his golden eyes from anyone else. He has kind of brownish hair, but of course, this is where, she does notice that it's kind of dyed a little bit. Well, maybe. She can't tell because she does seen some like white highlights on his hair. Either it's because of stress or any of that. But this boy isn't really stressed or anything. He's actually quite the opposite. He's actually a troublemaker half the damn time. He doesn't like people, he doesn't like anyone. He hangs out with the two perverts, which people just call him the duo, mostly the trio perverts, but the problem is, mostly the boy isn't really a pervert. He doesn't even peek at the girls. He does beat up his friends just for the fact that they annoy him, but yeah. Of course, he doesn't like really knock them out. Well, he does. He doesn't like kick the crap out of them. Mostly he just knock them out and leave him alone. He only is friends with those two. It's just so his population and with girls or any of that would kind of go up, because he doesn't like being bothered by anyone entirely. And if he's friends with two people that are hated, then he should be considered hated, because he doesn't like anyone. He was always a social, awkward kid ever since he was younger. This is where, the brown-haired boy is looking at the board. Of course, this is where, he's taking notes, and his handwriting is actually really good. It's always cursive. And like he's actually pretty good at cursive and other stuff. This is where, in the paper, on the top paper, it does kind of say Issei Hyodo. But yeah. This is where, the red hair is looking at the boy named Issei Hyodo. But of course, where, Issei kind of glares at her mostly with side-eye look. And of course, asks him why she keeps looking at him. This is where, she kind of stutters and says, "Oh, nothing. I thought, nothing." This is where, Rios looks away, but yeah. She stutters a little bit because, she's still not very used to the boy who's next to her, but yeah. Mostly just this first hour, and of course, she doesn't really have him in any other hour, except for the last hour, which she has been trying to get out of because, it's kind of technology, it's robotics, and she is not very smart in robotics. So yeah, this is where, she's sighing, but of course, this is where, the boy seems kind of friendly. He doesn't really attack people unless they attack him first, or unless they somehow trigger him, which is quite often because, he's quite often in the president council's room half the damn time. Almost a whole day, he's always there somehow, either in a fight of he started or someone else started or whatever. Mostly everyone calls him a delinquent because, he's pretty much a troublemaker. He's the opposite of, Kiba Yuta, who is the prince of Kuo. He is the destruction of Kuo, because his reputation is pretty down to being one of the most infamous people in the whole fucking school. There's others, but he's the most infamous person to cause trouble and fights and just be petty half the time. Maybe, but no one really can tell. But of course, then there's also his two perverted friends, which actually are above him, mostly in not being one of the most hated people in school, but just, yeah. This is where, Issei is sighing. Of course, where, the boy just does sigh, but yeah, Issei. And of course, where, he looks at the clock and sees that it's almost over. This is where, Issei kind of sees his 10 minutes left, and he just hates this class, because this class is literally fucking, not English, it's actually, science. He fucking hates science. He's not that great or smart in science, but yeah. But of course, he noticed what's it called? Well, he noticed his phone literally ring, and he's actually at the back of the class with the red hair girl. But yeah, this is where, well, he kind of just looked at his phone, and this is where, well, his face is mostly always stoic and doesn't really care about, like, looking at anyone with a funny smile or anything. That when the red hair kind of just, like, looks back at what's called Issei, she noticed a small, genuine kind of smile, like a really happy smile. This is where, well, she was actually scared. Like, holy shit. Like, she got scared for a second and then realized it's actually not a grin or any of that, but instead an actual smile. But of course, his smile is quite beautiful in her words. But of course, this is where, well, he then kind of stops smiling after kind of putting away his phone. This is where, well, he becomes back stoic. This is where, well, she kind of saddened a little bit, but yeah. She doesn't know what exactly he smiled at, but yeah. But we go into the POV of Issei. When he pulls out his phone, he realized that, well, his grandfather named Bang is going to come towards his house, mostly where he lives. Of course, to talk to, well, him about, well, the dojo. If he wants to join or kind of continue in, well, becoming a dojo master in the near future because he's actually 18. This is where, well, he is actually smiling about that. Of course, his father could have taken over the dojo. It's just his father actually wanted to make a different dojo. But yeah, he just wanted to make a dojo for self-defense for anyone, which his father is pretty good at doing that. He mostly teaches everyone about the flowing technique. Not many people like can learn about the flowing, but of course Issei could always learn about the flowing. Flowing of almost everything. Everything has a flow, and he knows about it. Anything that lives, anything that's non-automatic or, well, non-animation or any of that can flow. It has a flowing kind of energy always around it. But yeah, and Issei always knows about that. Of course, where, well, Issei is right now thinking in his head right now, kind of smiling, kind of seeing his kind of grandfather figure named Bang kind of show up to his house. Now, of course, he does want to like become a dojo kind of master also. Mostly Issei in his head, because he doesn't really like thinking of any other job. He's not that great with people. He's really not that good with people. So if he works at like, what's it called, a place that like serves food, and the customer literally decides to be kind of fucking pissy or rude with Issei, Issei isn't gonna hesitate in clocking this motherfucker in the face. Doesn't give a shit if it's a girl or a guy. Equal rights, equal fights. He doesn't care. This is where, well, mostly these hands are ready to eat for anyone. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei also just kind of, what's it called, is pretty much not that social awkward and talking. He can talk his mind out when he literally feels like he's annoyed. But yeah, of course, he can literally talk in 2 different languages, or not even 2, mostly more. He can talk in Russian, Japan, well, mostly his native language of being Japanese, but yeah. So Russian, Japanese, what's it called? Not South Korean. Well, what's it called? Germany, English, and what's it called? Spanish. So he can talk 5 different languages that he decides to learn. Of course, yeah. He also Germany, just for the one fucking reason than just being a freaking prick half the time. Well, not a prick, mostly. No, not Germany. Mostly he just knows those other 5 languages. But yeah. But of course, well, he knows about a couple, but he never shows them off. Because, first of all, he's not trying to get popular. Second of all, he really doesn't like that many people. And yeah. Now, of course, even though his perverted friends are quite idiotic and annoying, they aren't actually perverted. Actually, those only are kind of false masks of theirs. Because, well, they're more kind of stable enough than being just perverted warlocks half the time. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into Issei just kind of waiting for the whole fucking class to end, and finally end after maybe it was like 50 fucking years. And of course Issei gets up, puts his shit into the backpack, and this is where, well, mostly the pouch booklet, not booklet, what the fuck, mostly the book bag, and of course decide to walk out and go to his next class. His next class is literally ceramics. But yeah, this is where, well, he starts building stuff out of ceramics. Of course, where, well, mostly in ceramics, he's pretty good at it. But yeah, he's good at a lot of classes, mostly And all of his grades are actually pretty damn decent. First class, not that decent. He got a B. He doesn't care. B minus, we'll see. But of course, ceramics, he gets an A. And what's it called? His next class will be kind of history. He has what's it called? An A also in there. He doesn't really hate history. He kind of likes it a little bit. But yeah, this is where next class from history will be kind of English, because for some reason Kuwa decides to teach children about English because they have to take two different language classes, like first Japanese kind of literature, and of course in English. But yeah, of course he picks English because he's literally a master of English. So of course where he has an A in it. Also, he then has what's it called Japanese literature, which he has also an A, and of course where wait. So his sixth class is a class that he fucking hates and literally is trying to get out of it most of the damn time and get to another technology class because he actually pretty likes technology a lot. But pretty much this class is literally singing, and he doesn't sing shit. He rather flip off everyone, even the teacher. He doesn't care. He has a fucking C, like somehow a C minus there, and not yet an F. He doesn't care. He usually gets scolded by what's it called Sona about the fact that he hasn't tried and he has to try and other stuff. But pretty much Issei says, nah, I'm not trying shit. Until you get me out of that class, I ain't trying. This is where, well, Sona sighs, but yeah, she's been trying to literally get him out of the class also. Because Issei has been causing trouble for the other kids because they're scared of literally approaching him and trying to make him sing. But yeah. But of course, his last class is mostly 7th hour, and of course it's robotics. And he actually likes robotics. He actually likes making robots and other things. The reason why he likes robots and other stuff is because he's actually kind of, well, pretty interesting because he does build stuff at home also. That and what's it called, Murahama was actually the one to actually introduce him with robots most of the time. Because you see here, Murahama was actually pretty smart in like a lot of things. Mostly in anything technology, he can make it pretty easily. Anything that he mostly decides to destroy, mostly dismantle, he can rebuild it and be much better. But yeah, that's Murahama's kind of special ability. He's very smart in other stuff, but yeah, in technology. And also he has special eyes that literally can tell him any details of anything. But of course, it's where, well, mostly technology, but yeah. And also, in his perverted fucking way, which mostly is a false mask, is the, what's it called, size of a girl. Which he kind of guesses because he can't really tell that mostly the same exact size. Some girls get kind of, like, mostly angry at him when they get their size literally told, and some other girls get their size wrong, and they get kind of confused, like, huh, does his literally ability works or does it not? Which it doesn't, because, yeah. But, yeah, that's happening. But, of course, well, Issei goes on with the whole day being bored out of his mind a little bit. Mostly, it's much better than his first hour. But when it comes to 6th hour, he said, fuck no, he'd rather ditch it, which he does. He doesn't give a damn. He literally just ditches what's it called 6th hour and waits until 7th hour. But yeah. But of course, there's one problem for 6th hour. When he was ditching, mostly he kind of bumped into the newest kind of president, or mostly president council member. That being, or yeah, the council kind of member, and that being what's called Sanji. Sanji, I forgot his last name, but this is where Sanji says, hey, where are you supposed to be? This is where Issei said, robotics. This is where Sanji said, okay. This is where Sanji walks away, mostly passive. And this is where Sanji realized, wait a minute. I have robotics. 6th hour. I never seen him. This is where he turns around. He sees Issei already fucking booking it down the hallway. This is where Sanji says, no, you motherfucker. So Sanji tries to run after him, but the one problem is with Issei. Issei might be the most hated person in the entire school, but there's one problem with some people. Mostly in the athlete kind of side, mostly a lot of athletes, or mostly in the sports side, they don't see Issei as the biggest problem. Of course, he has very terrible social skills. Of course, he's cussing out people when literally they piss him off. But the problem is, he's pretty damn good in every single sport. That going from soccer, or in other countries that we call football, or what's it called, that football they use in what's it called, America, going to the range of like basketball, hockey, ice hockey, what's it called? This, that, even what's it called? Like Shrek. He is really damn fast for being a normal troublemaker teenager. Because he might look kind of thin and skinny, which he kind of looks like it. But he is strong. He is ripped for his age. But yeah, he was trained from a young age to become very strong and powerful. Of course, his father usually tells him to kind of never hurt anyone, which he usually tells us to call Issei when he's mostly around his mother, because you see here, Goro knows that Issei's mother or his wife will beat the shit of him. Will literally beat the shit out of Goro, but yeah, she will probably use telekinesis and throw him up in the air and then smash him back to the ground. But of course, every time when she's not around and she like walked away, she then mostly Goro goes back to Issei and says, just remember, kid, if anyone tries to hurt you or even try to look at you with a dirty look or even tell something about us or like talk shit, beat the fuck out of them. Send them to the hospital. Don't worry. I'll definitely get your back. Don't worry, okay? Shh. But yeah, this is where Issei always nodded and always took any information from his father with a kind of, mostly anything with praise. But yeah, because you see here, Issei literally grew up to kind of be a menace in this school. And the reason why he's even going to the school in the first place is because it was supposed to be one of the greatest schools to literally get, get out of the school and have a good GPA or whatever the fuck it is. But of course, this school is the ratio of guys and girls are basically girls are more dominated than guys. Which, he didn't actually read upon that shit when it turned actually into a mixed gender of guys and girls. Which he didn't care. It's just the girl population is quite fucking annoying in his words. So yeah, they are interested in mostly, a lot of like gay shit with guys, mostly doing gay whatever. But of course, where Issei is not gay, he is literally straight, but most of the girls would think he would be gay, but yeah, which he's not. But of course, the girls think that Yuta is straight, which yes, he is straight, but you don't even know that. Maybe not. Who cares? But of course, people are usually mostly who actually thinks about this is mostly the manga club of the girl side. But yeah, there's a guy side of manga club, but mostly they look at H anime and other stuff. Of course, a perverted duo didn't join that club because they didn't really have time to be bothered with shit. But yeah, now of course, I should mention about Matsui. Matsui isn't also a pervert. No, he might be bald and of course called the bald pervert or the pervert baldy or something, but he's not. He's actually pretty physically strong, just like Issei. The problem is, it's the exact same thing like Issei when he kind of doesn't like show off his muscles or anything. Matsui does the same. He doesn't really show off any of his muscles. But of course, he also doesn't show off his strength or any of that because, he's quite smart because he learned from a young age it's better not to show off violence most of the time or people will literally target you. Which you can see that from Issei's kind of point of view. Which Issei does beat the shit out of people who literally try to fight him because he doesn't give a damn. But yeah, now of course, we go back into Issei literally running away from, Sanji. Now Sanji is running, he's like saying, no, come back here, damn it, he's much faster, what the hell? This is where, Sanji, he's running until he sees down the hallway 3 girls, mostly, one whitish haired girl with bluish eyes, one girl with kind of reddish hair, and not that reddish, it's kind of like a brownish color, but of course another one having bluish hair, and they're basically from the council, and of course one of the whitish haired girls, who is named Momo, kind of noticed what's called Issei. This is where, she decides to put on a, little spell, a small spell that isn't noticed that much by humans, but it's called, a tripping spell, just to make Issei trip. But Issei saw them, and of course, this is where he jumps on the wall and starts running on it. This is where he jumps over them and literally starts running faster. He needs to dodge the council because he doesn't want to get to 6 hour. He says, fuck 6 hour. But yeah, I should also mention that Issei is hearing while doing all this and crazy stuff and literally dishing, he's been hearing music for the past kind of 30 minutes. But yeah, running away from Sanji and the 3 girls. But yeah. So of course the song that he's hearing is called Ranch It and Divide by Black what's it called? Black Valley or Valley whatever bridge. But yeah, of course well Issei is hearing that song and this word I'm the broken da, 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 da. Yeah, you get the point. But of course he's literally just running, skipping, dodging, and even managing to get away from most of or just mostly every person that literally tries to go after him. And that being what's it called? Well, every council member, and even what's it called, Kiba. Kiba does show up and try to even chase after him with his own speed, but of course can't keep up with a human. Now, he's confused how he can't keep up with Issei. Issei is supposed to be normally a normal human. The problem is Kiba is running, he's just getting slower and slower and slower by the time he gets near Issei. For some reason, Issei is having this aura around him that's basically telekinesis, and telekinesis isn't magic. So of course, Kiba cannot sense the telekinesis being used on him to weight him down. This is where, well, Issei is doing this just so people literally can't catch up to him. It's not because he's fast, which he is. He can be extremely much more faster than anyone, even if they are devil incarnated. He doesn't care. He can be way much faster. But of course, he just doesn't want to show off his inhuman speed, because he does know that his parents are humans. Yes, they are humans. His mother is a human, but she has telekinesis. She was kind of gifted to be pretty good at telekinesis. And of course, his father, who is Garou, is what's it called, Goro. He used to be an inhuman when he was transformed into a monster, and then cosmic, being somewhat considered a god, or mostly God's vessel, but then he became back a human. But he still has kind of the goddish power kind of vessel that he had inside him. But yeah. But of course, Issei, he basically has that same power. The adaptability and of course the telekinesis and other stuff. But yeah, this is where he's literally outrunning them. And it takes, what's it called? Well, 50 minutes pass and literally the bell rings. Beep. This is where, well, all the student council members are literally tired, even what's it called, Kiba, which he's supposed to be the fastest, but no way in hell how the fuck can Issei literally outrun them. This is where Issei is running back. He sees the pile of students are literally jumping, well, mostly not jumping, mostly getting out of their class, and Issei started just kind of, well, seeing one of the doors open, he decides to climb. He jumps over it. Mostly, he doesn't jump over it. He jumps on top of the door and started jumping on the doors like if it was Assassin's Creed right now, jumping on those, like, or mostly parkouring on like small little pieces of land. But yeah, he's literally just jumping on them. Ding, ding, ding. This is where the student, mostly the council's students sees Issei doing this. Issei is just jumping. He then gets on the wall, starts running on a little bit, then jumps on another door and starts running the same thing. This is where, well, the council member says, what the fuck? Why can't we get him? This is where, well, Sanji, he falls down. He was literally about to just hit the ground, which Kiba was about to grab him, but this is where Issei did use a little bit of telekinesis just to smash his fucking head to the ground. Because he was a problem in why he had to run most of the time. Issei literally moved his hand a little bit down, and of course, Sanji does smash to the ground pretty damn fast. Bah! This is where, well, Kiba doesn't know what happened because he tried to move fast enough, and he knows he was pretty much close to him and quick enough to get him, but of course, he like fell a little bit much faster, which he didn't sense like any unnormal magical pressure or something put on Sanji, but whatever. Now Sanji's bleeding from the nose, so don't worry about that. But of course, Issei gets towards the car Robotics, and this is where, well, he did work up a sweat when he got there pretty much the first one. But of course, well, he did work up a sweat, and this is where, well, he kind of said, yo, what's good? What's it called? The teacher isn't what's called native to what's it called, Japan or Korea. So of course, he's actually from the Western country, and his name is Mr. John. Yeah, Mr. John. This is where Issei says, yo, what's good, Mr. John? He said in English. Mr. John says, hey, Issei. So, I guess you literally ditched your 6 hour because you look just really, really fucking tired. Or just sweating most of the time. He says, oh, nah, that was just a workout. I just managed to escape the freaking student council and even what's it called, that Kiba YouTube Prince boy, whatever. Pretty much I just had to escape them. It was easy. Whew. It's very hot. This is where, well, Mr. John says, you realize this right now like at 10 degrees in my classroom. This is where, well, He says, then I'll be cooling down. This is where, well, Mr. John says, okay. When are you done with your robotics project? This is where Issei said, I'm almost done. I just need a couple more tweaks and other stuff towards the robot and it'll be done. Okay, because you see here, after the solo project, I might have to put, well, you and, of course, 2 other people to be on your team. Issei looks at him with this terrified look. This is where Mr. John says, oh, come on, Issei, you realize you need to work with people. That's the whole point of being in robotics. You gotta work with people. Issei goes, Issei says, can I not do this by myself? This is where Mr. John says, no, Issei. This is where Issei says, please, I beg you, I'll pay you, please. This is where Issei is literally on his knees begging to him. This is where, well, Mr. John chuckles and says, Issei, calm down. It's not going to be that bad. I'm just going to put you on a team. Let's see, what did I assign your team to be? Ah, yes. I put you on a team with, what's it called, Ria Scremery and Maida. This is where, well, Issei knows who Maida is. She's pretty much a smart girl in robotics and other stuff. She's actually mostly second to best with him and mostly building robots. But yeah, it's a girl with kind of blackish long hair, mostly wearing a mask half the time on her face, and of course having a red rose on top of her hair. Of course, where her clothing is kind of not the best thing to literally be working in robotics. Well, it is, but it mostly like a reddish coat that's black most of the time. It kind of looks like she's kind of goth a little bit, but yeah. Issei, he doesn't have much room to speak because he wears a black kind of like tank top. Well, not black tank top, mostly a black long sleeve shirt, and of course black coat, and of course kind of these grayish sweatpants, and well, black sandals. But yeah, mostly when they're working on robotic. But yeah, because that's mostly their very comfortable kind of clothes they kind of wear. Of course, any other student can literally bring clothes and they can wear it while kind of building on robots, but whatever. There's pretty much no kind of rule on like you need to really wear the school uniform or whatever. It's not really enforced. But yeah, in this class. Of course, Ria Scremery is the only one that literally, well, she does have her school uniform, but of course she doesn't wear anything else. Mostly any of the other students doesn't really do that neither. But of course Issei does kind of wear different clothes, and even Maida. Now of course, well, Issei kind of just like almost was looking at him with a dumbfounded expression. And this is where Issei said, wait, say those names again? This is where Mr. John said, okay, Maida, you know, the girl who's second best to you, and Ria Scremery. He says, the girl that's last? This is where, well, mostly someone literally got startled when they were about to walk in. And of course, when they heard the girl who's got last, it was a reddish hair girl. And of course, she's not good at robotics, so of course, she's pretty much almost dead last in robotics. Of course, she's smart in other things, but technology doesn't really work with her that well. So of course, when she heard the girl that's dead last really loud, of course in English and all like language, well, mostly English language, was she surprised to hear English language mostly from Issei, because Issei doesn't really like talking in English or any of the other kind of words. Which the only language he does talk when he has to talk to people is in fucking Russian, just so he doesn't need to talk to them directly. Those motherfuckers gonna have to learn Russian to literally talk to Issei. Issei only picked Russian so he doesn't need to talk to them directly in Japanese. He doesn't give a shit if he gets a B fucking minus in him not interacting with other people, but whatever. This is where, well, someone then was behind Ria's, and this is where, well, the girl kind of says, can you move, Ria Scremery? This is where Ria got started and says, oh, I'm sorry, Maida. This is where Maida walks in, and this is where, well, she says, hello there, Mr. Johnson, or Mr. John. This is where, well, you want me to call him Johnson, but yeah, Mr. Johnson. This is where, well, the teacher said, oh, Maida, you're here. Well, oh, you're also here, Rias. So I was just telling here Issei that a team project will actually happen a suit after you, well, two manage to finish your own solo project that I kind of assigned about a week ago. Or not a week ago, about like 3 weeks ago. This is where, well, Maida nodded and says, I'm almost finished also. Well, I am almost finished. So what's the group project? And who do I have to be assigned with team? Well, you three who are just right now together. This is where, well, Maida widened her eyes, and of course, she never expected to be on a team with Issei. Issei, who is a troublemaker in the school, but is actually pretty damn smart. This is where, well, Maida then nodded. She then kind of just nodded. This is where Ria said, wait, I also have to be on this group project? What if I haven't finished my solo project? This is where, well, because she hasn't actually finished it. She's been like wondering why the hell does she keep messing up and other stuff. This is where, well, Mr. John says, then you will get however much progress you have done on the, what's it called, robot. If it's like a 50, then you would just get a 50% on that. So basically an F, but yeah. But it's better than anything. Ria scopes and says, can I get help? This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, well, there's no rule that you won't get any help, or there's really no rule. So you can always ask your two, what's it called, partners, your future partners on your group project right in front of you. This is where, well, he points right in front and there's only Maida and he says, ... gone. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, never mind. You see, he doesn't want to help you. This already feels kind of sad. Maida kind of looks at Arias, and this is where, well, Maida says, how much do you have progress done? This is where, well, Arias kind of chuckles very lightly, sweat dropping also, because she knows that she hasn't really made any project. It's pretty much difficult for her, but yeah. This is where, well, Arias says, she kind of stutters out, but yeah. This is where Maida kind of looks at her with just an eyebrow raised, and of course, where, well, mostly a bunch of students are starting to walk in, but yeah, of course, where, well, there's like a lot of students that are walking in, and of course, a new student who just kind of got transferred a while ago, or mostly managed to move classes, a girl with kind of whitish hair, and of course, like, what's it called, reddish eyes, but yeah. So, of course, there's actually two new students, and of course, where, well, Mr. Johnson wasn't expecting this, but he said, fuck it. But of course, where the two new students is one girl with blackish hair, of course, having a black hat, and of course, a uniform of the school uniform. And of course, where, well, she didn't have a black hat, but she tried to, but whatever, it was mostly a hood. She tried to put it on, but it didn't really work, but whatever. She has longish black hair, and of course, somewhat blue highlights. She has kind of dark blue eyes. Or, well, not dark blue eyes, or kind of very lightish bluish eyes. And of course, where, well, her name is Sari, and of course, where, well, another girl with kind of whitish hair, of course, two red highlights hairs. Well, okay, whatever the fuck that was, that's actually quite fucking annoying. Well, it was kind of, she has white hair, and of course, two white bang hairs. It kind of looks like Ria's kind of like long hair that she has on top of her head, but mostly there are two. And of course, they become red after a while. She does have red highlights around also, but really they become kind of red. And of course, where she kind of has goldenish orange eyes, and of course, they're kind of a little bit slick, but yeah. But of course, I want to notice, this is where, well, her name is, what's it called? Karin. I'm gonna call her Karin. So of course, where, well, they all kind of welcome Karin, or not, yeah. No, Warin. I'm gonna call her Warin. No, not Warin. Shiroi. So yeah, Shiroi. So of course, where, well, Sarin and what's it called? Shiroi. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, okay, nice to meet you, you two. My name is Mr. Johnson. You can see that. Of course, those are all the students. Of course, we are not gonna name through all of them because I'm too fucking lazy. But of course, well, Mr. Johnson then says, but can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? This is where, well, Sarin kind of shook her head like she didn't want to, and Shiroi kind of just grins and says, well, my name is Shiroi. All I like is kind of technology. I like making robots. I like making other stuff. I like doing this and that. I also like using guns. I'm not truly from here. I'm kind of from America a little bit, but don't worry about it. This is where, well, people are scared after hearing the fact that she likes using guns. Mr. Johnson says, okay, it seems that you were training how to use guns. That's good. This is where everyone says, wait, what? This is where everyone realizes they're still realizing that Mr. Johnson is from America and he's from a Western country. So, of course, they literally train. Well, they want to train kids to use guns, but here in the present day of America, I mean, you can get it anywhere, whatever. Of course, well, the teacher says, okay, where can you sit? Ah, you can sit next to the red hair named Rhea Squirmery. Okay, this is where, well, they both nod, and of course Mr. Johnson is kind of having to figure out how to make groups now. Because he wanted to make them out of 3 groups, just to kind of make them a little bit even. Until, well, he realized, wait, then they didn't really have a solo project, so he then decides to kill 2, well, mostly 3 birds with 1 stone, or 1 project. He decides to tell, well, Shiroi and, well, Sarina to help Rias in her project. This is where Rias is still trying to look at computers and right now, having glasses on, but yeah. This is where, well, she's so dumbfounded how to actually do this, but yeah. This is where, well, they said sure, and of course, where, well, they see Rias' project is even like, what's it called, 25% even done, so yeah. They sighed, but of course decided to help her out. Of course, Rias was very thankful for the new students because they seem to be way smarter in how to build robots. Now, of course, where someone screams out, "Yes, it's finally fucking done! Fuck yeah!" This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, yeah, that's Issei over there screaming. This is where the 2 girls almost get startled, but yeah, almost everyone does fall down out of their chair because they were just confused and knew who the fuck was yelling. But of course, it was an American. Also, if you heard that, that was just me accidentally hitting something. But it was an American language to say, "Fuck yeah!" This is where, well, he then goes into Russian. Yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, everyone goes, yeah, that must be that guy. Everyone just calls Issei that guy because Issei literally kind of just uses Russian language sometimes either to cast people out or just because he doesn't really like using his voice most of the time, mostly using his Japanese voice. But yeah, his Russian voice does kind of get an accent, and a very kind of deep accent. But yeah, this is where Mr. Johnson says, oh, he might be done. Oh, that's good to know. This is where, well, Maida is almost done, and this is where she kind of heard, and this is where she almost messed up on something. This is where, well, she would have like screamed back, but this is where she's kind of nervous to even scream back. This is where, well, she doesn't get, well, she is kind of shy. She doesn't like hate Issei or anything, but yeah. She actually kind of likes how Issei's personality is. He's quite, also kind of shy to even talk half the time. But yeah, she's kind of noticed that, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, fuck yeah, I got the robot. This is where, well, he made the robot kind of walk all the way to Mr. Johnson and kind of lift up, what's it called, paper. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, so this is a robot. Pretty much a robot. It looks like a, what's it called, mini Godzilla, like what's it called, like a Godzilla, but instead of being like Godzilla and all that, it's like a mini, what was it called, metallic Godzilla or Mozilla or whatever the hell it's called. That metal one, that metal version of it. But yeah, this is where, well, it kind of lifted up with, well, it couldn't really lift it up with its short arms, but of course it did extend, so of course, yeah. This is where Mr. Johnson says, okay, check. Okay, well, he does got a hunger. This is where so many people are like saying, what the fuck? The guy who's kind of a delinquent is supposed to be not that smart for rumors, but seems to like made this is like, not smart. Half the people who were looking at this. Issei walks out, and of course, where, well, he gets back the robotic Godzilla and says, so how you like this? This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, it's cool. Can I do anything else? I feel like you added something else that should not be allowed, but I feel like you did it anyway. Good, what's it called? Good observation, Mr. Johnson. Yes, I did add something else. That's why I made a well target over there. Out of wood, but don't worry about that. Okay, let's go see it. This is where, well, he then tells the students if they don't want to see it, then don't stand up, but whatever. This is where, well, the 2 new students kind of get curious because the boy who actually made this seems to be, well, wasn't there in the beginning when they introduced himself, but yeah, there seems to be like another student who didn't really care about seeing new students. But of course, this is where they see the giant wooden target, and this is where he puts a metallic Godzilla down and says, okay, Godzilla. He then kind of gets his like, well, mostly like a tablet. And this is where he then puts a command and other stuff. This is the Godzilla. Its eyes started kind of glowing red. And this is where it then sends its red laser straight towards the target. And right now melted the target through it. And of course kind of causing it to burn. This is where he managed to stop the Godzilla. And the Godzilla then started at the end of him burning the thing down. Or mostly shooting a laser. He started just kind of dancing. kind of just think of it bananas the banana peanut butter and jelly sandwich or whatever the fuck it's called, not that song, the one banana where it kind of just peanut butter jelly whatever, it starts kind of dancing right left right, you get the point. So it kind of starts doing that, and of course where Issei said yeah fucking yeah, but yeah, this is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, damn, I wasn't expecting a laser beam. Whatever. This is where, well, he then says, you want to add an S to it. You want I change the A to an S just because how amazing it was. This is where Issei says, yes. This is where, well, Issei was actually hearing music at the same time, but yeah. This is where the song that he was hearing was what's it called. The song that he's been hearing was called I Am Machine by 3 Days of Grace, but yeah. I am a... Yeah, you get the point. Mostly, yeah. So yeah, he's pretty much just singing in his head. Of course, he's kind of mumbling. But this is where, well, the two girls noticed what song he was hearing because they were also kind of, well, not hearing the song. Mostly they know about the song, but yeah. This is where, well, he says, well, time for Metallic Godzilla to get a new upgrade. He then kind of was about to grab the Godzilla to upgrade him also, to add rockets and other stuff. But this is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, okay, if you're thinking of adding rockets, don't you dare. This is where Issei says, aw, why not? Wait until your next project. This is where Issei says, but my Metallic Godzilla needs a new upgrade. This is where, well, he has the Godzilla robot like a freaking plushie. He's like holding it like a plushie. And this is where, well, Mr. Johnson said, okay, listen, kid, just wait until, okay, since you have nothing else to do, how about help Ria's Grandmarie with her own project, since she is going to be on your team? He says, you know, I think, what's it called, cleaning my workstation, I think it hears me kind of calling it, it's calling me to it, so I might go do that. Mr. Johnson kind of sighs. This is where, well, he says, come on, Issei. This is where Maida also finished her kind of project, and it's kind of what's it called, her project, mostly her robotic project is kind of like a, so her project is like a, what's it called, a robotic, butterfly, well, multiple butterflies, going on top of a tree, but yeah, this is where, well, is kind of like playing around, and of course, this is where, well, she also says A+, yep. This is where, well, other people kind of show their robotics, but some of them explode, or some of them kind of fail, blah, blah, blah. People are just saddened because either they get a 50 for at least trying, or just kind of not good enough, whatever. This is where, well, people are just saddened. Of course, this is where Rios is dropping because she sees almost on her entire freaking, well, mostly class almost finished. And this is where, well, she's barely even 85% done, even with the other two help. This is where Issei sighs, and even Maida, because they know they're gonna have to help her. So what's the best way to help her is to literally just go over there. This is where, well, people see Issei literally kind of look at the robot that they're kind of making, and it's pretty much, well, the robot that they're making is, in Ria's vision, was kind of like a dragon, similar towards Issei's Godzilla, kind of metallic Godzilla, because Issei's Godzilla is about what they call 4 inches tall, and well, not 4 inches, like 3 inches tall, well, 3.5, mostly 3.5 inches tall, but yeah, and this dragon seems to be like a Western type of dragon, and of course, where, well, or not Western, mostly like an Eastern type of dragon, mostly one of those Japanese dragons, and of course, where, well, you notice what they're kind of messing up and seeing how it won't stable up, so of course, where he starts kind of getting some of the tools and other things and starting to stable up the dragon. This is where Maida does help also, and this is where, well, the dragon managed to be finished completely. Of course, Issei look around just to see any deflects, or mostly defects, or any of that. Even with the Maida does the same. This is where, well, they see that's fully done. So of course, where when Mr. Johnson says, okay, time to test it. This is where, well, a bunch of students right now hide behind a protective, well, mostly glass, just in case it blows up, because most of the other blow up robots, they kind of hurt people. It didn't like really hurt them too bad. Some of them just got cuts and other things. Issei was there just waiting. This is where, well, he didn't care. He sat there and really just waited, because he knows he didn't fucked up on anything. Of course, the dragon gets turned to alive, and of course, where, well, the dragon's flying around. It does have wings, so yeah, and boosters underneath. So of course, it's flying around, and this is where, well, it kind of just flies around Issei, because Issei is right now the one who's controlling it. And of course, where, well, he did add something else, and just because it was funny to him, he did kind of make what's it called, well, he kind of put some blocks on top of a table, and of course name them out. He did also kind of like written out some papers and kind of name out like houses, villagers' houses, village PC, well mostly village house. This is where well he smiles, and of course everyone kind of goes towards the village house, and of course launch out fire. Like it had a mini flamethrower from his like mouth and launches fire straight to the village, burning it. That's where Issei is grinning like a madman. This is where people just sweat out. Even Maida and what's it called, Rias and Sarina and also Shiroi. They're like, when the fuck did he have time to even put that there? Because they were like so close to each other that somehow they didn't even figure out Issei managed to put that there. Issei is just grinning like a madman. Of course, this is where the dragon managed to land down. And of course, where the dragon was near the village, and this is where he then uses his wings to use an air pressure to kind of destroy all the flames. This is where, well, the dragon is now considered to be a hero, villain, what the fuck it was, I don't know. Issei just kind of makes the dragon land down, and of course it does land down. Mostly being in all four legs, because it does kind of have four legs. But yeah, this is where, well, even though its body is so extended, but yeah. He says hi and says, well, that's interesting. This is where, well, his song is already over, and this is the next song starts. It's mostly, what's it called? The song is called Untraveled Road by what's it called? 1,000 Foot whatever you say it like that. But whatever. KRCUT and fucking remember how you spell. But whatever. Of course where well, it's just kinda hearing it now. And of course everyone is kinda shocked. Rias kinda did get what's it called B. Sure gets a B, and even what's it called? Well, Sarina kind of gets a B, but yeah. Or mostly A, but whatever. But they did kind of get help from the other two, but yeah. Of course, the word Issei's grade was upgraded a little bit more until Issei denies it. He didn't really need it. He really just cares about his Godzilla and adding rockets and other things to it. But of course, this is where Mr. Johnson says no. This is where, well, Maida kind of just says that the grade can go towards the other two, but yeah. So that's why they got an A instead of just a B. This is where Ria sighs in happiness. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, okay, come back tomorrow for your group project. Also, Issei, Rias, and what's it called, Maida, and also Sayana and Shiroi, you will be all together in a group. That's where Issei says, wait, Mr. Johnson, didn't you say it was only 3? Please, for the love of God, change me out of here. I want to be solo. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson says, no, kid, not happening. Issei says, why? Why you like this? Cruel world. Me. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone is leaving, but yeah, because class is over. This is where, well, Issei is walking out, still hearing music. Of course, this is where he still kind of has the clothes that are what's called not part of the school uniform, but pretty much they don't really need to change out because at the end of the day, like, who's gonna stop them? It's almost the end of the day. Yeah, this is where Issei said, I'm so fucking screwed. This is where Issei is just sad and screwed and other things. Until he keeps hearing music and other stuff. But of course, he realized that he didn't turn off the volume of, what's it called, his phone for any calls. But yeah, and this is where the call started ringing. Of course, this is where, well, the song that kind of plays in the background, because he's like next to Maida, Shiroi, and even was Kasayana, and even Rias. Rias was thinking of going to the occult research club just to talk to her Paraj, but yeah. Of course, Maida was going home, and the other two were also going home, but yeah. The song started playing was called... So the song starts playing, and, well, mostly since it starts ringing, and of course the song starts playing is called For the Glory Made by All Good Things. So the song plays... was it called... You're my domain about... Wait, fuck, I forgot, wait. Of course, that's the song that's like playing like in the background, and this is where, well, all 4 girls like turn towards Issei. Issei's right now trying to grab his phone. This is where he kind of gets it. Right now, answered the damn call, and this is where Issei says, "What the hell do you want?" This is where, well, the person who was calling was none other than, well, mostly his father, and it's actually Garou, and this is where Issei says, "Oh, Dad, what do you need?" This is where Issei's dad says, "The fuck? Don't talk to me like that, boy, before I beat your ass." This is where Issei says, "Bring it on, old man, I'll kick your ass right now." This is where Issei literally just kind of talking back, but yeah. And this is where Garou chuckles and just says, "But still, what is happening? Are you out of score or what?" This is where Issei still has his earbuds, and of course none of them can really hear what's kind of happening. Issei says, no, not really. I'm almost out of school, but pretty much, what do you need?" Shit. I'm just trying to stop you to literally not go to what's it called, Bang. Don't do it, son. Don't become the dojo master of Bangs. No, don't do it. Become my own successor. This is where Issei switch off and says, Dad, what the fuck? This is where Issei kind of says, Dad, which all of them realize that now it's his father kind of calling. And this is where, well, Goto's kind of chuckling and saying, I'm just kidding, kid. Whatever. You can pick whatever you want for your future still. This is where Issei says, uh-huh. And what do you think is best for my future? Shit, I don't know. Kicking the shit out of monsters, humans, and demons? Why the fuck not? This is where Issei said, if I wanted to find a hero, I would have beat the shit out of them, but hey, do you see me fucking finding heroes? No. This is where, well, he's kind of just joking, but yeah. This is where he still isn't, like, what's it called? When he's talking with his father, he kind of just loses any hope of sense of, like, anywhere near him, but yeah. Which is, this is where the girl says, is it his father, or literally, what's it called? A friend, or brother? What the hell? They're confused. This is where, well, his father chuckles and says, nah, kid. But still, just remember, whatever you pick, do not tell your mother. This is where Issei says, wait, why doesn't mom need to know about this? This is where, well, Goto says, because if she finds out you're trying to become a dojo master or something else that is kind of proficient for your skills, she's going to flip out and try to murder me, your grandfather, your Bang, his brother, and maybe anyone else that is involved with this. Issei switches up and says, oh, shit. She will try to kill me, and you, and everyone else. Yeah, do you want to die? 200? Issei says, no, I haven't actually figured out how to fucking, well, this is where Issei coughs and says, well, I haven't really figured out how to, you know what? This is where, well, this is where, well, Goto says, I know, you're still trying to learn how to do monster killing, well, god killing fists. And, that technique is going to take a while for you to even master. This is where Issei says, I'm so sad I haven't mastered that technique. Still, what's it called? I'm going to, what's it called, Grandfather's Dojo. So, I'm going to be, instead of going home, I'm going to go to Grandfather's Dojo. Is mom there at the house, or do I have to make up an excuse saying I'm going with friends or something? This is where, well, Goto says, I think you just got to make an excuse saying you finally got a girlfriend and like, you're going to out with her with, what's it called, out on a date. Issei, right now his face becomes red, and that's where he says, I'm not saying any of that to my mom. No, Dad, are you crazy? You realize how, you know how mom is. If she hears about that, she's gonna go crazy. She's going to try to meet up the girl who it is, blah, 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 and blah. This is where, well, most of the girls are still next to him. Mostly eyes dropping into his conversation with his father, but of course they can't hear his father, but they can hear how Issei is rambling. This is where, well, his face is also tinted with pinkish. This is where they're confused and what is happening. Rias kind of has a clue a little bit, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, still, not happening. I would just say I'll be going out with friends, like going out to the arcade or something like that. And then I'll go up and meet up with my, what's it called, grandfather's dojo. This is where, well, Goto says, but would it really help you in the near future? I'm just saying, that possible chance might, what's it called? My choice might have been a life-saving, Issei said, or a death sentence, Issei kind of said. This is where Goto says, he scoffs and says, whatever, brat. Just don't get in trouble with your grandfather. Also, try not to murder the people that are in his dojo. Yeah, just fair warning. Issei says, he just scoffs again and says, why would I do that? I'm not you. This is where Goto just says, you know what, shut the hell up, you little brat. Before I come over there and beat your ass. This is where Issei says, bring it, old man. I'll fight you right the fuck now. This is where, well, they're mostly joking around, but yeah. This is where, well, Goto says, well, I gotta be going, kid. Because I gotta go my own dojo, but yeah, since you won't take family business. Then why didn't you take Bang's, why didn't you take grandfather's business? This is where, well, Goto says, shut up. He hangs up on Issei, and Issei says, he just scoffs and says, old man, you motherfucking old shit. This is where, well, Issei, he then still hear music, but this is where, well, his, how should I say, his earbuds usually don't work because they're a cheap brand, or not even a cheap brand. They're mostly, they get kind of fucked up one time since he was on a fight. So of course, when he hangs up, well, mostly his phone hangs up the call, his headphones doesn't actually reconnect, mostly like disconnect. And the song that's playing right now is mostly called Untraveled Roll. So of course, yeah, you get the point. But yeah. So the song is called what's it called? Fuck. The song is called In the End by Linkin Park, and of course, it's kind of playing really loud, and of course, Issei realized that his headphones didn't actually, reconnect back to his fucking phone, so of course, this is where he starts kind of, like, turning them back on, and of course, he's walking away, still forgetting the fact that there's 4 girls kind of hearing the song, but yeah. Well, that heard of the song, and of course, this is where, Issei kind of got the headphones back connected, and this is where, when he turns around, just because he kind of feels like he's getting stared at, this is where, Issei turns around, and this is where he switches off, realizing that Ryo's, Shoroi, Sarina, Sarina, and what's it called, Maida just looking at him. This is where Maida kind of says, good song, just because you just thumbs up just saying good song, I guess. This is where, Shoroi kind of says, good taste, I guess. This is where, Sarina says, huh. It actually is good taste. This is where Ryo's kind of just drops and doesn't really know what to say. She never heard songs like metal or rock or any of that, so of course she just say, I don't know. This is where, Issei said, you didn't hear any of that, did you? This is where, the song, are you talking to, I guess, your father? None of it, right? He's trying to just play it off saying none of it, right? This is where, they all kind of just look at him with a dumbfounded expression. He said, I gotta be going, shouldn't I? Issei kind of just starts walking away faster. This is where, he gets the corner next to, what's it called? A corner. He turns to a corner and just starts fucking sprinting down. Gets to a, exit door, opens that shit, and just runs out. Woo! But yeah. This is where, he runs out from the opposite side of what they call where the main gate will be at. But he just jumped over a fence, mostly the wall. He just grabbed that shit and, of course, grabs a branch, launches himself up, grabs the wall, and just jump over. But yeah, he then runs off, knowing where the dojo would be at because he has done this before. But yeah, this is where, he ends up at the dojo of Bang. And Bang says, my grandson. This is where Bang hugs him, but yeah. This is where, he says, that was a little too tight. I think you broke some ribs. So, what's up, Grandpa? This is where, Bang said, I'm happy that you decided to take on my dojo. This is where, he says, Grandpa, I don't think it's a good idea to start crying. This is where, Bang said, these are tears of joy, my boy. It's not sadness. This is where he says, okay, whatever you say. This is where, Bang is just chuckling. And of course, this is where Bang says he wants some tea. This is where Issei says, yeah. So of course, the where they start just talking about how the dojo and how Issei, when he graduates, he's going to either take to either his father's dojo or even his grandfather, which he's thinking of just Bang because Bang is much more friendlier and of course much more calmer than his father. His father does kind of lash out sometimes, not into an actual fist fight, but kind of getting angry half the time. But yeah, this is where Issei sweat drops and says, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe. This is where, Issei is just kind of talking to him, but yeah. This is where, other people, in the dojo are seeing this. Seeing the, student, or mostly the grandchild of Bang. And of course, people snicker thinking that he's not tough enough, or even cool looking like his father. Which his father had white hair and golden eyes. But Issei has brownish hair and golden eyes. But yeah, mostly his brownish hair kind of comes from his mother. But this is where, Issei kind of looks back, and this is where Issei's hair turns silver for a second. Mostly whitish color, just highlights of it. Issei said, the hell are you saying? This is where, not white highlights, mostly brownish color highlights, but yeah. Mostly fully his hair becomes white. This is where, all of them just get scared in an instant. Bang chuckles, and this is where, he says that if you want to fight, then let's have a friendly battle match, shouldn't we? This is where, Issei kind of moves his hair, kind of looking a little bit like his father, but it's not fully looking like his father because there's still this brown kind of ponytail on his back, but yeah, or mostly the back of his head. This is where, one person rushes at him trying to kick at him, but this is where Issei fucking kicks him right in the head, knocking him out. This is where another person tried to use the flowing technique of the dojo, and this is where Issei countered it so fast by not even using the technique. He just countered it so fast and saw how slow the movements are. This is where he then dodges another attack from actually someone who has kind of a black belt into this kind of karate, mostly karate place, or not karate place, mostly the dojo. And he swings his like technique much faster than the other guys. But this is where Issei managed to counteract fast, and of course managed to kind of hit two pressure points in each of his arms, mostly each of the person's arms, making them wobble. And of course, realizing that his arm is paralyzed. This is where they won't move, they're numb. This is where he looks at Issei, and Issei has this murderous grin. Issei said, this is where he appears to the punch, but wasn't actually going to clock him. Mostly stops a fist right in front of him, and of course the person faints in an instant. This is where Bang chuckles. You can see Issei isn't like trying to actually kill them. He isn't like his father who will actually try to murder them if they piss him off. But yeah, Issei is much more calmer. And of course, will give the benefit of the doubt sometimes, not most of the time. He is still like his father, mostly like, what's it called, like son, like, well, mostly like father, like son. So yeah, this is where, well, Issei just kind of grins and says, well, that was kind of fun, I guess. This is where Issei just chuckles. This is where Bang chuckles also. The door, mostly the door of the dojo kind of opens, and this is where, well, someone enters, and of course, it seems to have, well, been a black-haired girl, well, mostly a black long-haired girl with kind of these reddish eyes. And of course, the word, well, she kind of has her kind of daughter with her. And of course, her daughter kind of seems gothic a little bit. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei says, Maida? This is where Maida kind of looks at Issei and says, Issei? This is where, well, the older lady says, oh, so is this your boyfriend? This is where, well, the older female kind of asks. This is where Maida blushes and just looks away. But yeah, this is where, well, Bang says, oh, so it's your girlfriend. I didn't expect to see your... This is where Issei says, shut up, old man. No. Don't you dare tell anything about my parents about this. If what's it called? Well, my father hears about this, or my mother, she's going to kill me in not telling her sooner. No. We're not dating. Stop this. That's where Issei kind of glares at the older man. This is where, well, Bang sighs and says, fine, I won't tell her. Ki. How about you two kind of go have fun or something? This is where he gives, what's it called, Issei money. Issei says, what the, This is where the older female says, yeah, you should go to your boyfriend before he gets stolen by someone else. This is where, well, the older lady kind of asks to her daughter, and this is where the daughter kind of blushes. But yeah, this is where, well, they were somehow kicked out of dojo, and this is where, well, Issei was somehow pushed by Bang, and this is where Maida was also out through the door. This is where both of them are just blushing. This is where, well, Issei said, this is where Issei is still wearing dojo clothes. Well, not even dojo clothes, he's just wearing his kind of regular clothes when he came in here, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, that was quite interesting. Issei kind of starts out with a small kind of, just small word like, what the fuck? But yeah, and that was kind of interesting. This is where Maida says, yeah, this is where she kind of agrees. This is where, well, both of them are just still looking out into the blank air until Issei says, okay, I should probably be going to the store. This is where Maida says, yeah. This is where, well, the both older people are kind of just giggling and laughing, seeing what's it called. Mostly Bang's kind of grandson figure, and of course mostly seeing, well, the old lady seeing, what's it called, her daughter kind of just go out with the boy. This is where, well, both of them are kind of starting to talk. Maida kind of asked about his whitish hair. It didn't have it when he was in school. Issei said that's just because it was dyed. This is where, well, Maida asked why. Because I don't really like people seeing my white hair. It's mostly from my father's side, but yeah. What about your golden eyes? Also from my father's side. Your brownish hair? My mother's side. You have any other features there from your mother's side? Some of my face. Kinda. This is where our face features and other stuff, but yeah. This is where, well, Maida says, oh, that's interesting. This is where, well, when Maida kind of did take a closer look into Issei, he looks much more good looking than what's it called, being in school. His brownish hair, his brown highlights make it look kind of interesting, but of course this whitish hair is quite amazing more. It's kind of like whitish gray silverish type, but yeah. But yeah, that's where, well, Maida and Issei kind of goes to the store to just get something to eat because they didn't really get anything to eat, but yeah. Of course, where they're eating, well, what's it called, ramen, but yeah. That's where Maida says, so what are we gonna do with the project tomorrow. Issei says, don't remind me, I hate it. I hate it. I hate 6 hour and I hate fucking projects with group projects. This is where Maida says, sorry about kind of bringing that up. This is where, Issei says, don't you also hate it? This is where Maida says, yes, I do hate it. I don't really like working with other people. I don't really like it. This is where, Issei says, and I can't believe 2 other students decided to join. I hate my life. This is where, Maida kind of chuckles and says, well, at least, what's it called? At least it might be faster. Whatever project it is, we are kind of 2 of the best. I don't know why he decided to put us together. It's probably, this is where Issei says, probably to help the grammar girl, since she is kind of very behind anyone else. That's where, she made her say, kind of like Team 7 in, what's it called, in Naruto. That's where Issei says, yep, kind of like that. But I was thinking the male student would be kind of low behind. And me having to be literally like the emo duckling and telling him that he's an idiot. That's where, made her chuckles and says, wow, do you even like Sasuke? Issei says, hell no. If I had to pick a character from Naruto, it'd be Kakashi. I am more like Kakashi than any of the other 2. Well, yeah. Or even Sasuke. Hell no. That's where Maida says, yeah, I don't really like Sasuke. So I'd rather pick Uncle. This is where, Issei says, so the sadistic snake girl? This is where, Maida says, yeah. She is much stronger and actually very powerful Kunoichi. In my words, but yeah. This is where Issei says, interesting. This is where, they're just talking about what's it called, anime, because they do kind of watch anime, but yeah. This is where, Issei kind of talks about what's it called, Bleach, and how his favorite character in Bleach is still what's it called, the most menacing person. That's literally Aizen, the enemy of all Soul Reapers. This is where, Maida then talks about that her favorite was called Captain. Of all of them would be Kenpachi. He might be a sadistic murderer, psychopath who only uses a sword, who doesn't even have a Shinkai or a Bankai. But whatever, mostly in the manga, she then talks about he does have a Bankai, which is so dope. This is where, Issei and her just starts talking, which they just ignore their kind of shy side because they have so much more stuff in common. But yeah, this is where, 2 other people kind of sit down next to them, and this is where when Issei kind of looks up, is none other than the other 2 who's going to be on the group project. That's where they wave at them, and of course, this is where, they kind of heard that they watch kind of anime. They were basically on the topic of One Piece, but yeah, which they started talking towards Issei and what's it called, Maida, which Maida and Issei did kind of become social awkward for a second, until it was One Piece topic, so of course they were kind of talking and getting more interested with each other, but yeah. Issei's favorite character from One Piece would be none other than what's it called, not Whitebeard, it would be kind of, what's it called? It'd be Zoro Noah, and this is where, should I say, so you mean the green hair that kind of gets lost in everything, right? This is where Issei scoffs and says, no, I mean the fucking badass who has 3 swords and can easily defeat a lot of people, but couldn't defeat Mihawk. This is where she counter-racked Issei, and this is where Issei scoffs and says, that's just because he's the strongest swordsman. This is where Zoro was barely able to kind of control Hawking or any of that stuff. This is where, made it then counteract saying, but what's it called, Mihawk didn't use Hawking against Zoro. Are you sure about that? This is where they're kind of just arguing a little bit back and forth, but yeah. And this is where, Maida and what's it called, Sarina just watch over, but yeah. This is where, Maida kind of goes on with her character that she likes is mostly Nami, because she seems to be really smart, and of course other things like navigating and other things. This is where, Sarina kind of says that her favorite character is kind of Nico Robin, but yeah. And of course, just because of her devil fruit, so useful and so amazing, but yeah. This is where, they're kind of just talking, while Shiroi and Issei are just right now counteracting how, mostly how Zoro's, what's it called, cons from pros, and yeah. They're mostly arguing about it, but yeah. This is where, that is happening, and of course, we go into a time skip of them getting out of what they call mostly the ramen place. This is where Issei, he does kind of have a fortune cookie, and it says, you will make lots of friends. That's what it says in the fortune cookie. Issei scoffs and says, lots of friends. Ha! that ain't happening. This is where Maida kind of looks over and says, so are we considered friends? Issei blushes and says, yes. Yeah. This is where, well, Sarina says, what about us? Issei says, I guess so. This is where, well, they're kind of talking until a group of thugs appear saying, hey, wow, there's actually some beautiful, what's it called, female. This is where Issei walks past him, literally clocking him in the face, and this is where, well, the other gang members tries to attack Issei. Issei scoffs and says, fist, a flowing water crush, mostly stream rock crush fist. This is where, well, he floats his fist in an instant, which a blue colored path appears, while knocking them all out in an instant. This is where, well, Issei even broke through a metal bat so easily. This is where Issei says, ow, my hand hurts. This is where, well, all the girls are winding their eyes. Issei said, what? Oh, sorry about that. You didn't notice that. Actually, I'm somewhat pretty good at using defense techniques. I mostly was trained by my grandfather and my father about defense and other techniques about, well, mostly fighting. But yeah, sorry about that. This is where they say, nah, they're all just dumbfounded. Even though Maida kind of does see Issei in a dojo kind of, not a dojo outfit, mostly in next to the dojo master of where she was going to go to learn defense. But yeah, self-defense. But of course, well, she then says, so you did notice that I was going to your grandfather's dojo defense, right? This is where Issei says, oh yeah, you're going to be learning mostly the same technique that I learned. You might not be as good as any of the others, but yeah. Maybe I can teach you something else that might be different from it. My grandfather, mostly, that technique is mostly for self-defense. I don't know if you want to go offense or self-defense. This is where, well, Maida says self-defense. This is where Issei switch up and says, sure, I'll teach you. This is where, well, Maida says, really? This is where, well, Issei says, yeah, it's fine. This is where, well, Issei kind of became much more gentle after a while, but he still has kind of that guard around his heart, but yeah. He's not an idiot to kind of lower down his guard, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei does also realize that he's kind of being looked by someone else, which when he kind of like turns around and sees no one, from the corner of his eye, he sees a mostly red-haired girl on the top of a building having bat wings. Issei doesn't point it out, he just kind of remembers this just later on if whatever Rias is planning to wonder and what the hell does she want from him. Now of course, well, Issei and them just start walking back to the dojo, but yeah, this is where Issei, he then uses telekinesis just because he knows that she's still watching him, and he kind of uses telekinesis to kind of just swipe his hand mid-air, just thinking there might have been a fly, which they just thought it was a fly, the three girls are next to him, but pretty much he's using telekinesis. His hand does glow a little bit greenish color, and this is where a wind attack smashes into Rias, kind of smashing her into the ground, mostly at the ground of the ceiling of the building that she was on top. This is where she wonders, what the fuck did she get hit, because it wasn't magic. It was confusing, but Issei just swiped his hair and mostly using magic, or not even magic, mostly telekinesis just to swipe her away, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei chuckles. This is where, well, they're just walking back to the dojo, but yeah. Just because he doesn't really like Rias because it's really weird because she keeps staring at him most of the time. Either first class is kind of so fucking weird. First class, she just stares at him and he doesn't like that at all. Of course, that doesn't mean like any of the other people that he has met, like Akino or any of them other people that he meets through other classes, does he just stare at him, which pisses him off and annoys him a lot, but yeah. Of course, well, they get back to the dojo. The old man named Bang does tell Maida that she is welcome to join, the dojo anytime she wants to, even if she's running late, then it doesn't matter, but yeah. This is where, well, he's being really friendly. Also, he sees two other girls and kind of has like smirking grin and looks at Issei and it gives him a thumbs up. That's where Issei scoffs and knows already what the hell Bang wants from him. He scoffs and kind of just says, no, don't you dare think of any of that. This is where, well, Maida kind of goes with her mother, and of course where the other girls decide to kind of go home, but yeah. Well, mostly kind of ask if they can join also. This is where Bang said, yeah, you can join. This is where, well, Issei scoffs and realized that Bang is being really friendly with them because, well, they're basically, in his words, the girlfriends of what they call Issei. Issei scoffs and they're only friends, but whatever. He will have to somehow explain this to his grandfather, and he knows that his grandfather is going to mistake a lot of stuff. But yeah. But of course, with that happening, we go into Issei going back to the house. Now, Issei does get scolded by his mother and wondering where he went. Issei kind of lied and said that he went to well, he didn't lie entirely. He kind of went with his friends to kind of get food, like ramen, because yeah. This is where, well, his mother kind of says, fine. Her eyes open, showing this greenish color because she was really pissed, and telekinesis around her started kind of lifting well, objects around her right now because she was pissed. And this is where, well, Issei sweats off and says, yeah, mother, I swear to God, please don't kill me. This is where, well, Issei's mother scoffs and says, I won't kill you. Who I am going to kill is Garou because he hasn't got here. This is where Issei says, wait, what? Why not? This is where, well, his mother said, I want to know what the fuck he's doing. So go back, well, go towards your room, and if you hear any screaming or yelling or for your name from your father, ignore it. This is where, well, Issei nodded and kind of went upstairs, but yeah. This is where that night he heard screaming and yelling. This is where, well, Goto's like, Issei, help, 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 no, you little brat, come out, help me. This is where, well, he's being kind of thrown around. Right now, launched to like walls. Of course, the walls, him being launched to walls, doesn't really hurt his body. It's just funny. This is where, well, what's it called? Garou is right now on the ground, kind of just laying, sprawled down the ground. And this is where, well, Issei's mother kind of says, next time that you're late for food or anything, I'll kill you this time. This is where, well, Garou says, I understand. This is where, well, he face plants and is right now being tired, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Issei's mother, they kind of use telekinesis just to grab him and kind of lift him towards the bed, but yeah. This is where, well, this is where, well, I'm going to leave it off for, what's it called, part 1 of what if Issei was the son of Garou, and, well, not Garou, mostly Garou, was the son of Garou, and was a telekinesis user, but yeah. Other than that, bye.